So welcome to KO tutorials. So let's continue with the next part of this tutorial. So let's get started. So as you can see over here, we have started with the lighting of this particular living room over here. So let's continue it. So now I'll be adding a volume light. So let's go into this atmospheric apparatus and let's take a box gizmo over here. So let's take a box gizmo. So I'll go into this, I'll slightly rotate it over here. Slightly I'll shuffle it inside. I'll go into this and slightly increase the height if needed. If you are using a gizmo over here, in how much area you want this gizmo, you can just define that particular area over here according to your need. So I can just add this. Now after that, let's go into this. I'll just save the file once. Let's go into Vray environmental fog. Let's click OK. Go into this, click on setup, and I'll just go down, and as you can see, first I'll just remove this gizmo over here and I'll slightly increase the fog height. Let's click on the gizmo. So let's add the gizmo and let's add the VraySun over here. So I'll just go into the rendering, go into the render setup. Let's go into the Vray and I'll just activate this IPR over here. Alright, so it's going to take time. Okay. So as you can see, shuffle it out. Let's go back to the camera view over here. So press C over here. So again I'll render it once again. So let's select this. So go into the rendering, go into the environment, and let's increase the fog distance. Okay, let's render it again. Shutter speed, I'll make it as 10 over here. Okay, now looks better. So I'll slightly reduce this to 5 over here. So 5 is making more of a, giving you a bit more whitish look over here. I can go with the shutter speed of 8 over here, and now I'll give slightly the Vray exposure control over here, and let's render it again. I can just change it, again render it. once again. So, I will just select this light and I will slightly increase the intensity to 0.1 or 1, sorry. So, let us render it once again. Okay, so it is very high. So, we can go into this, let us make it to 0.3 for now and render it again. So, as you can see now, you can see that we are getting this the environmental fog over here. So, now we can control that fog. Let us select this, go into this, I will go into this and let us change the color of the fog over here. Go into the render setup, I will activate the IPR over here. Oops, I don't know why it is not going with IPR. Okay, not a problem. So, select this and increase the subdivisions to 32 over here, and slightly I will increase this more over here, the fog distance. Okay, I can increase the fog distance again. Go into this image filter and make this as Catmull room over here. Let us go into this. Now, alright, so select this. The maximum steps I will keep this as 500. Texture samples I will keep it as 16 over here. So, go into the GI. So, we have done some settings over here. Light cache I will keep it as 1000 as it is. Environment I have set a HDRI over here. So, select this light and slightly increase it to 1. So, I have just increased the intensity of that light over here. Now, go again over here. Okay, I can still increase it a bit if needed, slightly. So, we can get a very less fog, not much. Select this light. So, we have also assigned one light over here. We can just increase the intensity of that light as well. Slightly increase the intensity of that light. So, select this, render it again. All right. Slightly I can push it towards white over here a bit if needed. So, we do have a environmental fog over here which is connected with the sunlight, that is a VraySun. So, let it render. So let's just save this file once and I'll save as it. So I'll go into this and I'll so press Ctrl A. Let's go into the material editor. Let's go into the slate editor. And now I'm going to assign ambient occlusion. So let's take a V-Ray light material, go into this map and let's assign a V-Ray dirt material. So let's assign a V-Ray dirt material over here. Into this radius, I'll keep it as 100 over here, and let's render it again, once again. So we are rendering a ambient occlusion over here. So if you want, you can increase that. If it's not looking much whiter, again I'll go into this and increase it to 250 over here, the radius, and let's render it again. Alright, so it's going to take time. Alright. So definitely we'll render it. So till then, what I can do over here is like, so let it render. If you need, you can add this V-Ray environmental light over here. That's a kind of a fog light. So you can add the gizmo. So this is what it is rendering over here. Similarly, so we'll definitely render it. Now let's go over here into the render setup. Let's open the first file. I'll just save it as, I'll save as this as the third file. So I'll definitely render it later. So let's open the second file. So go into rendering, go into render setup, go into the render elements, and let's add some light passes over here. So I can just click on add over here. So let's add some light passes like V-Ray diffuse filter, global illumination, V-Ray lighting, V-Ray atmosphere. Let's go down. V-Ray reflection, V-Ray refraction, shadows, specular, Z depth. So these are all the passes which I have added over here. So once you have added this all passes, then you can just click OK, and let's click on this, go into V-Ray, and you can go into this and you can slightly increase this. Also go into the material, and we can increase its subdivisions of the materials. So let's click on subdivisions and let's make it as 16 over here. So I'll just increase its subdivisions. So it's going to take time to render. All right. So wherever is needed, you can increase that. All right. So once it is done, you can start rendering it. So let's click on render. Now let's render it. And now you see that the light passes are added over here. So we'll render it, we'll render the ambient occlusion and we'll composite this passes in Photoshop. So guys, if any doubts, please put it in the comment section over here. So please like and subscribe my YouTube channel. So we'll continue the rest of the part in the coming tutorial. So thanks for watching this tutorial.